Saturday right now is a better rain chance, lower rain chance on Sunday. But as you look ahead to your weekend, do check back with us as we map out the timing and waves of rain that could impact some outdoor plans. But it's a lower chance Sunday and still some rain chances into next week. The temperatures that are very near normal. We have rains to near 90.
It sure is a rainy day here at Busch Stadium. The Cardinals hoping to get in tonight's game against the Nationals. Coming up in sports here from Nolan Arenado on his injury status and from manager Ollie Marmol on how the team hopes to prepare for this next 6 games ahead of the All-Star break.
Get more news first anytime. Subscribe to First Alert 4 on YouTube. Here's tonight's primetime lineup. Brought to you by Optimized Associates. Doctors Professor Sonny and Roy. Call the doctors today. This edition of First Alert 7 is brought to you by Rockler Pest Solutions. There will always be pests. Rockler will always have solutions. Experience the magic of the Fabulous Foxes 2025-2026 season, filled with premieres and returning favorites. See the best of Broadway right here in St. Louis. New season ticket packages are on sale now at fabulousfox.com.
There's a reason Chevy is called the heartbeat of America. A heartbeat strong and steady, unwavering, like the people who keep this country moving. For them, only America's most dependable truck will do. In every Chevy truck, like every Chevy driver, dependability comes standard.
And now, through the Chevy 4th of July sales event, qualified buyers can get 0% financing plus an additional $1,000 bonus cash. Chevrolet, the #1 selling brand in the St. Louis area.
My name is Lois Mary, and I am a real client. Brown and Cooper was there to help me. Brown and Cooper made it easy. Brown and Cooper does it all.
The best stress relief after you've been hurt. Brown and Cooper.
Your mental health is better. But having uncontrollable body movements called TD, tardive dyskinesia, and feel embarrassing.
I asked my doctor about treating my TB with Ingrezza.
#1 prescribed Ingrezza is clinically proven to treat TD, quickly reducing TD movements by greater than 5 times in 2 weeks. 98% of people were still satisfied with Ingrezza after 2 years, and you can keep taking most mental health meds.
Ingrezza can cause depression, suicidal thoughts, or actions in patients with Huntington's disease. Call your doctor if you become depressed, have sudden behavior, mood changes, or suicidal thoughts. People take Ingrezza if allergic. Serious side effects may include allergic reactions like sudden, potentially fatal swallowing and nausea, sleepiness, the most common side effect, and heart rhythm problems. Know how Ingrezza affects you before operating a car or dangerous machinery. Report fever, stiff muscles, or problems thinking, as these might be life-threatening. Shaking, stiffness, drooling, and trouble keeping with balance may occur. Take what your choice and ask your doctor about Ingrezza. Oh, windows when you take the heat out of it. Looks like a song.
Front window makes out of high quality windows for way less money.
Our home is comfortable again.
Very comfortable.
Go to GetWindowNation.com. When the temperature rises, Morrison is ready. Our expert technicians deliver fast, dependable AC service you can count on. Trust the team Southern Illinois relies on. Morrison. Exceptional service. No exceptions.
My windows would not budge, but I was blown away by Window Nation's variety and pricing. Now opening my windows. Slim dunks. No wonder their reviews are awesome.
GetWindowNation.com. The Ford Skycam is one of our most important tools in providing that first alert of how conditions are changing. The Ford Skycam network brought to you by your Robert Ford dealer. This is Sports on Ford, powered by Jim Butler Chevrolet. Well, the Cardinals with a day off yesterday, hoping to not have a day off today. Tonight is supposed to be game 1 of a 6-game homestand. The weather in the area has officially delayed the original 6:45 start time of the Cardinals and the Nationals. Now, this is the final 6 games before the All-Star break and for more on the homestand. We head out to Busch Stadium and we find tours on Florence and Mark. Hey, there's Mark.
Hey there, Jacob. As you just mentioned, we are now less than a week, or we are actually a week away from the All-Star break and less than a month away from the trade deadline. As you said, of course, tonight's game against the Nationals has been delayed, but the Cardinals are hoping to start a 3-game series against the Nationals tonight. Now, the Cardinals offense has been struggling as of late. No Nolan Arenado, Ivan Herrera, or Jordan Walker in the lineup. still, Cardinals manager Colin Marmol tells me about how that's impacted the team recently. Nolan Arenado shares of his update on his injury status as the Cardinals have lost 4 of their last 6 games in shutout fashion.
The guys that are a big part of our lineup, and if it's lumping the lineup out, and especially in the time where we're coming from a small ground, it feels great. Playing Montaus 3 days ago on Sunday, I'm gonna feel amazing. So just hitting, I'm going across the body, doesn't feel great. But today it feels drastically better than yesterday and the day before. So trying to give it one more day. Know what I'm not, but
Heading into today, the Cardinals switch up the rotation, so Sonny Gray will get this series started against the Nats, who fired their general manager and manager days ago. These next 6 games will be crucial for the Cardinals, who now sit 6.5 games out of first in the division, a game and a half out of the last wild card spot.
we just had trouble scoring. Obviously, we're happy with that. That wasn't ideal. We have to call a solution for that, but yeah, we've been working hard towards being able to do something.
Public hearing. Hello. 2023 Community Development Block Grant Program application. So we are gonna open up the public hearing portion to get some input from the public about our CBDG funds.
Oh, am I going
You're the
on?
public head.
Do you need to take a finger? Does this work? What? I leave when you get a microphone? All right. But I know you can hear me without this. Okay, I am Terry Gannon. I think all the money should be used for street repairs and sidewalks. I mean, because we need it. That's it.
Use it for what again? I'm sorry.
Street repairs, sidewalks and street repairs. Because like where else are we gonna get that money? And we need it.
Thank you. Any other comments from the public? Is anybody on Zoom?
Any other public?
There are some people on Zoom, but nobody has asked to raise their hand or asked to speak. But
Okay.
you're welcome to.
I will
engage
now
them.
close the public hearing portion of the meeting.
Okay.
Roll call vote, please.
Councilman Sachsenheimer,
Here.
Councilwoman Cleveland,
Here.
Councilman Washington,
Here.
Councilman Evans,
Here.
Councilwoman Gore,
Here.
Councilwoman Shivers,
Here.
Councilman Roberts,
Here.
Councilwoman Rodriguez.
Here.
You have a quorum.
Thank you. Pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Yes.
Can I get a motion to approve the agenda? I make a motion.
Second.
All in favor? Any opposed? Ayes have it. Can I get a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. Citizen comments.
Hi. I'm sorry. Yeah, this is Stacy Parker, 7815 Faraway Drive. Can I go ahead and speak?
Yes, please.
Okay, cool. All right. So I just had a few things. Rental properties. So just been trying to get names of landlords. There's been a lot going on with the rental properties. I was thinking about maybe the solution was to limit the amount of rental properties we have available, but it seems more like maybe just staying on the landlords and educating renters, because a lot of them don't understand that they have rights. So when things go wrong with the property, they can actually contact the landlord. And we should feel free to contact the landlords too if those the renters are like nuisance neighbors, and we have a few. And also for occupancy permits, just for everyone, keeping that up to date, because I know there's one home in our community that has like 8 to 10 males living in it, and it's not a fraternity. So that's a little concerning. Code enforcement, there's just, again, a lot of homes, rental homes that need a lot of repairs. And that could be due to like lazy landlords or folks that just don't know how to take care of property, because they are renters and they're not homeowners. So I don't know. That's pretty much all I had. Oh no, there's one more thing. That it's like that yellow line that goes down on the street that goes down Bishop A.J. Johnson Road. It has been gone for years, and people are driving all over the place. So if that line could magically reappear, that'd be great, and we could avoid some possible near head-on collisions. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Does this work?
Yes. Good evening, everyone. Kimberly Moore, Skyview. Just a few quick things, just to kind of piggyback on what she just said. Bishop J.A. Johnson, that yellow line is gone, but there are a bunch of potholes there, like not little cute ones, but big ones. So just in reference to damage, I believe last meeting, someone said that the city was filling potholes, so they could take a look at that. And also our subdivision back off of Skyview and Faraway, there are lots of potholes. I don't think that this has anything to do with you all, but I believe it's time for MoDOT to come cut the grass off of Bermuda. It's over 4 foot high when you're going onto the highway, and it looks very untoward. So if that can be handled, or we can contact MoDOT and ask them. I know they're right off the highway, so I don't know how they wouldn't see that. My only other thing is just, especially with the fireworks just happening, they're continuing to go off. If the police can patrol, I think that when they drive around and they're more visible, it's a bit of more of a deterrent than just the flyers going out. A lot of people disregarded those. I really appreciate that they did go out. And then just lastly, we do have lots of renters in our area that are continuing to not follow rules and regulations. I don't know if it's because the landlord didn't alert them, but if there's any way, if we can have code enforcement drive around, if trash is picked up on Monday, if they can drive the city, it won't take more than 15 minutes, once on Tuesday or Wednesday, to be proactive instead of us having to continue to report the same homes. That would be greatly appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other ones online? Report of officers. So, just piggybacking off of the trash can and everything, the code enforcement subcommittee is going to start Wednesday, July 16th at 5:30. We have one representative from each ward, but anyone is welcome to come. So it's gonna be here. And the first thing that we're actually gonna go through and talk about is the actual nuisance codes and things that need to be addressed. So if anyone wants to come, Wednesday, July 16th at 5:30, that would be great. Also, Karen Cleveland and I attended the Strategic Code Enforcement Management Academy, and it was really inspirational to see all of the different communities and things that are going on. That was through Beyond Housing. One of the takeaways that I wanted to explore is the use of AI for code enforcement, and since we do have a shortage of, we only have one code enforcement person, and how to make that more efficient using AI for that purposes. There is a disaster prep coming up Thursday, July 10th. It's actually at the Natural Bridge Library. If anyone wants to sign up, you can go to St. Louis County Library and sign up. It's going to be from 6 to 7 this Thursday. It's how to prepare yourself and your home for unexpected emergencies and disasters, and it's through BJC. Let's see. Oh,
I'm sorry, you said sign up at the library or online?
you can sign up online. You go to St. Louis County Library.com and then go to disaster prep, and then you can sign up there. And it's from 6 to 7.
Okay.
I signed up today. 2 celebrations. Chief Sanders was a recipient of Black Girls Golden Ticket Award, and it was honoring Black women that are trailblazers in the community. So that was great to go to. It was a gala. It was really inspirational. They awarded 50 golden tickets to 50 Black women in our community, and it was just amazing to see all people from walks of life that came in the trailblazers, and all those women that are making a difference. Also, Kiana DeGarmo, she was installed as the president of Missouri City Clerks and Finance Officers Association. So congratulations to her on that.
Yay!
That was awesome. So I had the privilege of swearing her in at the luncheon. So that was amazing. We have a new public works director. I know I announced this last time. Marty Nuss. Marty is our new public works director, so I think he's going to do great things in the city. He has 25 years experience owning his own business related to public works, and 10 years directly in the field. So looking forward to working with him. An update on the city administrator search. We are going to start interviews on Monday. So we had a plethora of resumes that came through, and we came up with some really good ones, so that's gonna start on Monday. We're gonna try to do Monday, Thursday. We have those set up already, and everything. So hopefully we can get this going, and Marty is ready to leave.
Can we kidnap Marty? Can
Marty
we
wants to
kidnap
go
him?
fishing, so hopefully we can get this.
here.
The other Marty. The
We
original
can put them in the
Marty.
basement.
Yeah. So hopefully we can get this done and set up and everything. So I'm looking forward to that. So that was it. I'm gonna start down here.
Well, I have a question about what you just said, in terms of the interviews, who interviews with whom?
The
The candidates are, yes,
Yeah.
but who is going to be interviewing them?
All of us.
All of us, okay, so we'll get those notifications as to
Yes.
time? Okay.
And actually, I messed up on her today, so we had changed to Thursday because I forgot about the code enforcement subcommittee. So.
Okay. All right, so I wanted to do a fairly long presentation on, communication planning for the city. I've had some discussions with a couple of other council members, and I did create a document that I sent with my request to get this on the agenda, and it is there, but that document's not there, so I'm in the process right now of sending it to people, because it didn't get attached to the packet here.
We got a little bit of time because it's number 1 on old business.
Okay,
Yeah.
so if I
So if
send
you
it,
can find, yeah.
okay. So, other than that, I've just been looking around, in the village in particular. I know that there was some discussion during the snowstorms, when, with the previous administrator and the previous public works director had talked about, traffic control and or accessibility in the village of Glen Echo Park, the former village. And so I would like at some point for us to have a discussion. There was a suggestion that some streets be made one way, which may or may not be problematic, but I think it would be worth a discussion at some point with people who are going to be affected, including the police.
Are you talking about when we get the snow schedule?
Yeah, but there was discussion after that, in which the suggestion was made that some streets might be one way. The other concern that we have is just access, because we're right there on Lucas and Hunt, and it's the same, part of the same thing with Normandy Place. Controlling access in and out is not so much an issue for Normandy Place, but it is an issue for us. So I think I'd like to get some discussion going about a possible gate like we have to St. Mary's Lane, that police would open at a certain time and close at a certain time. That might help the police to figure out who's going in and out. I don't know what that would cost. I looked at a cost about 2 years ago, it was about $10,000. And that we do have some village money that might be worth a discussion. But I would like to talk to the police first, and I haven't had a chance to talk to Colonel Sanders about that idea. But looking at traffic patterns from major streets, whether it's Florissant or Henderson or North Normandy Place, for those off of major streets like that that have problems with random people coming through, how that would affect crime in the city. We haven't had any real difficulties lately, but they tend to come in waves. So I'm thinking about Augusta, for example, and how it goes on to Florissant. And some of those other streets, look at traffic patterns and talk with the police officers about how controlling traffic flow might have some impact on that. So that's the only thing that I had that I wanted to talk about.
Thank you. Julie?
Yeah, no, sure. I think just as far as the renter conversation, and just like I feel like I keep hearing like like standards or etiquettes. So this is what I was thinking. Why not when landlords or renters go apply for an occupancy permit, why don't we have like a neighborhood book of etiquette or like a book of etiquette they can pick up, just like a little pamphlet, just one page that we fold in half, to just has some, just neighborly rules, on the way out of getting your occupancy permit. Here's also the neighborly book of etiquette. It doesn't have to be named the book of etiquette, but just some pamphlet or information that we can give them while they're getting their occupancy permit. Just to inform them and let them know that, hey, we do have standards over here in Normandy. And so, just a suggestion.
So Wednesday, that would be something to discuss.
Yeah, and
Okay.
I did start that little, citizens guide to code enforcement, we can call it something else. But letting people know about how the process works and citing perhaps some code on, because I kind of put in what's a nuisance and how that's all handled, but the ordinances were not in there. Maybe a little short packet of things that are common problems.
I think that those are really good suggestions. I would say like you and Karen like get together, because she's gonna be making the agenda and everything. So,
Yeah,
like,
and
put
she's
those
already
things-
got that.
Yeah,
I mean,
put
sent
those
that
things
over.
on for Wednesday, so we have
Okay.
that in place.
Can I say one small thing?
No, sorry. Next round for citizen comments. Councilwoman Shivers, you're next.
Okay, I wanted to say also congratulations to Kiana, well deserved, and also thank Colonel Sanders for reaching out to the women in Normandy. That was a great adventure to do that. How many women were there?
50 women were honored.
Okay, 50 women. Now, do we have that, who they are? Will we have those names or anything?
Now, it wasn't through Normandy, it was through another organization, but I do have a magazine that
Okay, very good. And I wanted to let you know, the board know that Mr. Moore, that was complaining about the dumpsters and the noise in the wee hours. He said he's been able to get his rest. So he wanted to thank the board for that. So I'm passing along his message, okay?
Thank you.
And I don't know, did you get a chance to look into the bumper here on the corner that we discussed? Or you want to talk about that later?
I haven't talked to Chief about it. She's actually on vacation until the 22nd, so when she gets back, I'll talk to her about it.
Okay.
It might be a MoDOT issue though, because that's a MoDOT road.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, do you know also what time you're going to be doing the interviews for the city administrator?
Marty's gonna tell us.
Right. I'm in the midst of doing something else with my employer. So it's been kind of back and forth, and it's virtual though. So I need to know if we have certain meetings and that come up sporadically, so that I could try to put that time in with my time. Okay?
Yes, ma'am. We just finalized it today, so it wasn't, it was with 6 people, it took a minute.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
Go, Councilwoman Bratton.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Congratulations, Kiana, and congratulations to Colonel Sanders in her absence.
Chief.
Pardon?
Chief
Oh, Chief,
Sanders.
yeah, Chief Sanders.
Okay, she's in Colonel Sanders.
I know.
Okay. For the record, Chief Sanders. I don't have a lot. I have a neighbor on the corner of Bermuda and Rosedale.
Mm.
These bushes there are a problem because you can't, even if you come up to the stop sign and you pass it a little bit, you look to the right, you really can't see oncoming traffic until you come on out. And if you come out too far with traffic coming around that little 15-mile-an-hour curve, it makes it really dangerous there. So I'm new, so I'm trying to figure a way to approach him because I've had a conversation with him prior to this about something else before I was councilwoman. And he's not a nice character, so it's dangerous. And yes. And then there is Mrs. Harris on Bermuda, off of Bermuda, right there on the corner. I can't think of her street, but she does a lot of. Is that Nokomis? She decorates her yard all the time.
Oh, okay.
Nokomis. So she's concerned that there's something else going on with how she's getting violation after violation after violation about some things in her yard. They've straightened it up. It looks better. Wasn't a mess to begin with, but it's better. So she asked me to speak with you all about that. The code enforcer is giving her violations.
I would say that.
What's the address, please?
I do not have her address, but I will get it. She's right on the corner of
She's
the
across from Pasadena.
Right on the corner?
Yes.
Across from Pasadena Park. Across from the gate from
With all
Pasadena
the
Park.
decorations.
Yeah.
With all the decorations in there.
She always decorates her yard.
On.
Or it's on the holiday house.
Yes, the holiday house.
Springdale.
It's beautiful.
Springdale.
Okay.
Or La
No,
Quinta.
that's not Springdale.
No, I think it's
Springdale
Lacona.
is up from there.
Yes, you speaking of Miss Harris, aren't you?
Yes, ma'am.
Y'all got the, when y'all got First Street.
Yes, it's Nokomis there.
Mm-hmm.
What was that name, please?
Mrs. Harris, Ernestine Harris. I'd like something to be done. She's talked to me about this several times, and it's always in between council meetings, so last time I didn't get a chance to speak about it, but like maybe talk to him or someone. She's, yeah, even when she decorates her yard, it's beautiful. It's not a mess, and they always change the decorations out for every holiday. She decorates her yard. That's her piece, and she's an elder, and she should be allowed that. So, other than the streets over there are really bad, we have holes on Rosedale. You just don't bump over. Your tires go inside of those holes, and what they've done before is insufficient. They take rocks, gravel, and pour the gravel in the holes. It rains, the gravel comes up out of the holes. Cars go over, the gravel comes up out of the hole. You skid on that gravel. It's dangerous. I'm sure some of you all, if not all, have been on Rosedale. So you know when you come, if you come off of Bermuda and you're coming down, you get down a few feet and there's a blind spot and there's cars parked to your left. So if you're coming in that blind spot and cars are coming towards you, there's a collision is easy to happen. And right up in there is big holes and a lot of gravel.
And we've had a street assessment done on all of our streets, so getting every street done is not something that we have the money for like right now, and they're graded, and everything. So, but looking into what we can do to make it safer is definitely something we can do. So our public works director will look into that.
Yes, perhaps not the gravel. That's not gonna do. They've been doing that throughout the years, and it's just really making those holes worse. So something other than gravel, something that actually fills in, and not rocks. But that's all I got. Oh, and the work in the city is going pretty good. I would like to do the same thing here in Normandy. We'll probably start with the unhoused people because they need a lot of help, especially now. So otherwise, though, things are progressing really well.
Great. Thank you.
That's all I got. Thank you.
Councilman,
Piggyback off what she said as far as on Rosedale and Bermuda Road. I come up that street a lot and it's dangerous.
It is.
Yeah, you have to creep out on Bermuda Road
Yes.
to make that left turn.
Yes.
Alrighty, just looking for a few updates. As far as the missing flag in Bermuda Park, Bellwood Park, and the street light and the light, did you guys
That's
check
at
into that?
Kirkland?
Yeah,
I have a meeting with the electricians tomorrow.
okay,
We're going out and seeing what they can do. I'm guessing that they're not the ones that have ever fixed that before because
No.
their names aren't on any of the boxes that are there. So I'm guessing they're gonna start from scratch. The lights are obviously broken off. We
oh,
said-
it's broken, I thought.
Oh, yeah, the ones on the ground are absolutely broken
Oh,
off.
wow,
So they're gonna have to start from scratch, deal with whatever wiring, figure out what kind of lighting because we don't want the same thing back on.
okay,
If that's easy to break off. So we're working on it, starts tomorrow.
okay, thank you.
are they also gonna look at the ones on the pillars? The same,
I didn't get anything about the pillars,
No,
I got
the-
about the flagpole.
the ones on Belmont, is it, what's your street?
Bellwood.
Bellwood, the two pillar lights?
Okay, I can have them look at it,
Yeah.
that's fine.
Pillow lights.
Remember the two lights on the?
Oh, on the corner of Bellwood
yeah.
and Bermuda Road.
Okay,
Yeah,
and then we also have lights out on the gazebos at.
right.
I didn't know if all of those lights, because they're so close to that little park, are connected.
Well, those probably are, but the ones on the pole, on the posts out at Bermuda are probably not connected to that, because that's a whole block down the street.
Oh, really?
So I don't know where that's gonna start, but
Okay.
we'll have them look at it.
And you're talking about the one on the corner of Bellwood and Bermuda Road, the two?
Yes, that's what
Okay.
she,
The stone, yeah.
Yeah, it looks like it's an electrical box in the back.
yeah,
So where's,
right, where it's fed from and,
okay, so,
yeah. And these are the guys that'll be able to figure it out.
right. Because the light is real dim. It comes on, but it's real dim, like,
And we can have that fixed.
right. Okay. And the flag, and the, flag missing from the flag pole.
Yeah, and so separate issue and the flag can't go up till the lights are fixed.
Okay.
Because it's not proper to have a flag up without a light on it at night,
True. Probably why the flag was taken down.
right?
Alrighty, oh, one more thing. Horses, goats, and chickens in Hosea Park.
Jesus.
Yeah, I sent the mayor some pictures, I mean, people, yes, yes. People
Riding
are in the
horses?
park, Hosea Park.
Right.
Yeah, I sent her pictures, she, you know,
Pony ride, yeah.
yes, yes. I mean, it's a regular thing every year where people will rent the park, then they will have somebody rent the horses and bring the horses out there, and they're just riding the horses around Hosea Park.
Wow.
And I've seen petting zoos up there where they'll bring goats and chickens.
Wow.
And the kids just patting, and I'm like, what in the is going on up in here? And I've taken pictures of that, you know. And they didn't get so strong where they will leave the park and take off down Bermuda Court riding a horse. You know, and come back around the corner, and I'm like, oh my God.
Oh, my God.
Is that legal?
I'm loving it.
Well, for a community.
Like the fish fry that we had.
Yeah,
that
just like the
somebody had,
fish fry.
And I had to, yeah, that was a whole thing. But that's something that we definitely want the Parks Board to.
Yeah,
we
to
need have,
talk about.
And also Andy, because we were talking about how we need to have provisions for things that people, what people can and cannot do in the park. And I think it's just something that people are just used to doing, and it's just gone on, so.
Cause there are no parking, there's no parking signs?
Yeah.
Well, we need to establish when they come and sign it, like what they can
Oh.
and cannot. And I think we can,
When they
we can
sign
do
the
anything.
contract to
Yeah,
rent
we
the-
can do anything, yeah.
That particular person.
So that's something we got to do.
What else you got coming?
That's it. I'm done.
I'm sure we have it in the code somewhere.
Councilman Washington.
Yes, ma'am, thank you. First, I want to congratulate Kiana and Chief Sanders also on their accomplishments. First, I want to see if we can add to the workshop agenda, the discussion of rental properties. I know we started it the last workshop, but I don't think we finished the discussion, and I want to see if we have
I
a
think you should,
conversation.
I think you should start that with the code enforcement subcommittee and then give some recommendations for us. Like if they're doing it and we're doing it, it kind of defeats the purpose. You know what I'm saying? So like they're going to tackle, see what they say first, bring it up there and then bring it to us. But if we're doing it and they're doing it and we're like doing double duty, it kind of defeats the purpose.
Okay, well, as long as we
Yeah.
keep something done. Because this is a serious issue, especially in Ward 1 and 2. 3 and 4, I don't know if you guys have any rental issues, but we definitely do in Ward 1 and 2. And like I said, in the previous time, I know there's good renters. I'm not saying the good renters. I'm talking about the bad ones. Okay, so the ones who don't pull the trash cans back, the ones that don't cut the grass, the ones that don't have the kids running all over the neighborhood. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, so if we can have that discussion, or we can talk about it in the code enforcement, that's fine. Second thing, Shakespeare in the Park will be September 5th at the corner of Augusta and St. Anne. I don't know what the time is.
6:30.
6:30. Shakespeare in the Park. The Jazz Festival is October 5th from 4 to 8. It's also combined with National Night Out with the police department. And also I want to piggyback on.
Location.
Excuse me?
Location.
Oh, at Court Collective. 4 to 8 Court Collective combined with the National Night Out. Hope everybody comes out, enjoy the festivities.
Court collector.
Court Collective.
At the circle, the old St. Vincent's.
Okay.
What was the date?
October 5th. Also, I want to piggyback off Kim with the Bishop Johnson and our cul-de-sac. I don't know when is the last time our street has been repaired, but it's in bad condition. We got potholes all through the cul-de-sac, and also in Bishop Johnson Lane. It's needs to be done. So I agree with Terry Gannon on the money. Maybe we should use that money for street repairs for the whole entire city. Question, Mayor. You said the emergency preparedness. That's what I thought that was July 19th.
Oh, that's a different one. So the one that I sent, for what was it?
The one at Umsel.
The
One at
Library?
What's the name of that one?
The emergency preparedness workshop.
Yeah, that one is July 16th. That's a Saturday.
Right.
Right, yeah. And that was the one that I sent around. You had to do the QR code.
Right.
This one is put on by BJC.
So it's 2 of them.
It's 2, yeah.
Okay.
So they're not connected to each other.
Okay.
This one is actually put on by someone who was in the,
NLF, and it's also with the MU extension.
Yeah.
And it's actually the 19th. That's
oh, it's the 19th?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's actually full now.
Oh, it's full.
Is
So
it?
I talked to a lady today, she said it's full and they'll be doing another one this summer, ETA later on the date, but
Oh,
it's
okay.
around.
The one at Council.
Yeah, on the 9th, yeah.
Okay, so that was full. So then the one on Thursday, I just got that email today, and I signed up like at 5 o'clock. And so I got into that.
All right, cool. I was kind of confused. We had one you
Yeah,
sent in.
well, I thought Julian was gonna mention, I forgot to ask him.
You know what I should have.
I forgot, but it's full now, so.
Yeah.
Okay. And also, did we ever finish the discussion about the restrooms at Hosea Park? Did we ever come up with a process?
That was through the Parks Board, so we didn't talk about that at the last meeting. We did get a quote, but we need a quote with a washing station, so, that's something that we can bring up with the Parks Board.
All right, that's all I have.
You said what?
I don't have anything. I don't have anything. Oh, Council, who's it go for?
Who's
No.
this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Next, city administrator.
Pardon me, Marty and Tom Weiss, the engineer for city streets, met with Missouri American Water to go over a plan to have them repair the repairs they have made to those streets to our specifications. So when we overlay them, we'll have a solid foundation in which to overlay those streets where they've cut in for the new water lines, where they've cut in for connecting the water lines from the homes into the water mains. And we think we came to an agreement that will be acceptable to all parties. And so we'll have a firm surface there to overlay those streets when the time comes. There was a comment made about an over-occupied property. I believe the property that they're referring to, and I've gotten several complaints about, without mentioning the address, but with mentioning the street, is Skyview. I'm aware of that, but I need some help in how we're going to be able to determine it's over-occupied. You know, that's a tough thing to deal with, to be able to determine that there are more people in that house unless somebody camps out there and sees who's coming and going and determines if there's mail being delivered there and those types of things. But I'm aware of that. If somebody can give me some information that would be helpful, we'll be glad to put it to good use. But I don't disagree. That complaint keeps coming back. So it's not just one person, or it's not just two people. There is a concern there in that neighborhood with that piece of property.
Wow. Let's
And so
talk
anybody
to,
that's got some information that can help me resolve that problem, I'd greatly appreciate it.
let's talk to Larson and Beekman, since Chief is on vacation, and see what they come up with.
Hey, Marty, can we check the occupancy permit to see how many people are supposed to be there? Who's
I can
supposed to be
do
there?
that, but let's just, I think this woman said there was 8, I've heard 10. But let's just say the permit says 4, I'm just using a low number. Being able to determine that there are 6 more people than those 4 spending the night there is a problem. If you don't spend the night there, you're not over occupying the property. You could have 10 people visiting the property, but if you spend the night there, that's over occupancy. If you have more than, I'm using the number 4, I just picked that out of the sky, but if your occupancy says 4, and there's more than 4 people spending the night, that's over occupancy. If there's 10 people visiting there at 2 o'clock in the morning and then leaving, that's not over occupancy.
Just real quick, Mr. Washington, I have an email I can forward over to you, from communicating with Sam. I think I may have sent it to you also. Sam checked the occupancy on that home. The last time it was done was in the 80s for one person, and that gentleman has passed a long time ago. I can re-forward that to you guys in the morning.
There's gotta be some kind of remedy to that, cause, it's outrageous.
The one thing you've got, and it's a last resort, but you've got to have some type of proof to present to the court to get an administrative search warrant to go in and determine who's living there, how many beds are being occupied there. But you just can't go in and say the house is over-occupying and get an administrative search warrant. I mean, that's the last resort, but there's gotta be evidence to do that.
Marty?
So, I'm willing to listen if somebody can start giving me some facts that we can start putting together for a case in terms of that. And, you know, somebody may say there's only one person on the occupancy permit. That's fine, but if there's 10 people living there, we gotta be able to prove there's 10 people living there.
Mm-hmm.
Have the police run plates on the cars that are around there?
I'm sorry, have the police check on the cars?
plates, yeah, you can check on the cars and see who those
We have
belong
done
to.
that periodically and not been very successful,
Got it,
because the cars vary,
yeah, and they switch plates.
and no plates. We were in that neighborhood, I think, earlier this week, and tagged 5 or 6 cars. So,
Okay.
I'm aware of the problem, but that's not a problem that's as easy as going out and cut high grass.
Yeah, when we had that problem in the little village, I was real friendly with the mail lady. And I looked up some information that I already suspected. And I just had a little private conversation with her about, who lives there? Now, that may or not be legal, but I mean, it was my private conversation with my mail lady on one day. But maybe the council person in the area can ask the mail delivery person.
And I will guarantee you, the house I'm talking about, some of you in this room know what I'm talking about, is not the only house that's over-occupied.
I know.
But I gotta be honest with you, that's the only complaint I've gotten over occupancy on a regular basis.
Right, right. There've been others, but yeah, since you.
Oh, I'm sure there are.
Right.
But that's a problem, quote, problem property.
Yeah.
Mr. Marty, since we do have proof that there was only one person on the occupancy and there are more people there now, what would be sufficient for you? Pictures of people or like, what would be okay?
Well, I guess the simplest thing to do is find out who's living there right now. Is there, let's just say it's Kimberly Moore and Marty Parker. So we know there's 2, and we don't have a valid occupancy for 2, so we can start there if that's the case.
That might be a good place to start.
Right. I think that the ongoing lack of occupancy permits, and being able to have a system that tracks who's in there and who's not in there is one of the underlying problems that we have, that the housing database may not match what's in the physical files. And could we go after the registered owner in that case, saying there have been reports that you've got all these folks in here? Now, whether or not, if, for example, those were family members living in a house of someone who died years ago, and that sometimes happens, they don't change the stuff, they just occupy the house. That might be a way of doing, to see if there's been a change in the property owner.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think it's worth, I think we need to brainstorm this one. So, if anybody does have suggestions though, let's send some emails over to Marty, but I definitely think we need to talk to Andy and Chief and Larson about what's going on. If you're seeing something though, I mean, definitely call, because if we start making a case with nuisances and trash cans and grass, and I mean that's
a regular.
That's an easy
thing.
That's an easy.
Yeah.
Bring the owner in, bring the yeah.
Right there on the corner.
Yeah. So I would say keep calling. So we at least have that paper. That's
Couple other things. Councilwoman Shivers asked about interviews. The first interviews will be Monday, July 14th. And the interview times for the first 3 candidates, 6 p.m., 7 p.m., and 8 p.m. But I'd also like you here at 5:30 so we get organized and we're ready to go at 6 o'clock when the first individual shows up to be interviewed.
And what about
obviously it's a closed session, but we can, if you like, you can be at the interview through Zoom. I prefer you be here if all possible, but if you can't attend and you need to be here through Zoom, that's fine, we'll accommodate you.
so 5:30 arrival and 6, 7, and 8. Then what about Thursday?
Thursday, the 17th, is 6, 7, and 8. Maybe get here at 5:45, so we already have gone through this once. We won't need a half an hour.
Are these the same people or is this the second interview? The
No,
second
first interview.
It's two groups.
So the goal is, you're gonna all of you, hopefully, will interview all 6 of these candidates.
Mm.
I'm sorry. Interview all 6 of these candidates, and you will narrow them down to a smaller number, hopefully no more than 3, and give them a second interview. And at that point in time, hopefully you'll pick out a candidate that you feel will serve your needs. And between the first interview and the second interview, we will be able to check references and hopefully have the backgrounds checked so that you know that the person that you're interviewing the second time are somebody that will meet the qualifications that we're looking for. I shouldn't say we, you're looking for.
So Marty, I know that for the first round of interviews, we've gone through in closed session what might be some of the questions that for the second set of interviews, do we need to come up with new questions?
You came up with the interview questions for the first interview already, and I will send those out to you.
Right, but for the second round, do we need to have new questions, more questions?
You'll want some additional questions, yes.
Okay.
All right, I've spent a lot of time this week working with the auditors to complete this everlasting overdue audit, and I expect to have it in my hands by tomorrow evening.
Okay.
Spent an inordinate amount of my time, and I'm not complaining, but this last week and this week, spent an inordinate amount of time dealing with citizen complaints and elected official complaints that required my attention. So am I way behind on answering emails? Yes, I have a mountain of emails I need to answer. But sometimes you've got to prioritize of what you can get done and can't get done in terms of your needs. And am I behind? The answer is yes. Do I hope to catch up? Yes, before I leave.
Well, we've had a number of technological issues too. So some council members couldn't get into the emails. And still can't. I couldn't get into my emails. Marty, I think, had the worst of it. Kiana was out of her emails, which brings me to it's been a mess with the.
And Shivers.
Yeah, so a lot of people have not been able to get into emails.
Mm-hmm.
So we've had some issues with that, which we've also had the treasury report wasn't sent, and then so we have it, but it's not in the packet. So yeah, that's an issue too. I'm gonna let Public Works Director go.
So, on top of the regular things that we do, cutting grass and filling potholes and picking up branches and things like that, in case anybody's noticed, we're instituting new processes for how we take care of parks and green spaces. You'll see that they're working on mowing properly, trimming is being redone. We've started trimming the red buds that are all along Natural Bridge. Hopefully those will be completed in the next 2 weeks so that they'll all look consistent and in shape and things like that. Working on trying to develop what will be our new salt dome. We have one price on that. I'm waiting on a second price for the same type of building. We got a price from a steel building, but they do not install. They would deliver it and expect you to build it. And so that one's been taken off the list because that's just not a physical possibility to do. So sometime in the next week, I hope they have those processes, and obviously that will come to you guys to decide, what you want to do with that, because it's a decent amount of money. I have the ability to prepare that pad for that salt building, which is going to save us hopefully a substantial amount of money. And so I'm working on that process, along with trying to get an understanding of how we do the rest of the things here that we do. Both snow plowing wise, equipment wise, how we take care of things. So it's been a busy 3 weeks, and the employees seem to be responding accordingly, so I'm excited about the people that work here.
Can I ask just a question about the salt dome?
Sure.
How do you get the salt in there?
It's got a big opening on one end. The truck dumps it at the entrance, and we push it in with the tractors.
Got it.
Thank you. Mr. Ellis. We have it. I'm gonna let him read it, but we don't, because Kiana was having trouble with her email on Friday, so it wasn't in the packet. He made it, but we're gonna have to go over it on, what month is this? In August, yeah, in August, so. But it's not in our packet, so like I said, we still have people that can't get into their emails. And I think Julie, I think you have 2 emails.
I do?
So, it's fine. Don't leave.
Okay.
Sure.
So first of all, might as well use this since it's here.
It doesn't fit in
It
there.
doesn't fit.
Oh, it doesn't fit,
Okay.
yeah.
Have to be a performer.
Morning. Okay. No, I'm just saying. Well, thank you for this. This is very nice. The first thing I would like to ask, in light of what happened, and I'm not happy that it happened by any means, but since we don't happen to have a narrative that I was able to provide for you all for this meeting, do you all still need or want a narrative?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, that being said, I'll just go ahead and say what I would have given you all tonight. All right, so, Part 1, Section 8, Summary of Income Statement for May 2025. For the month of May, the city recorded a net income of $41,000, revenues of $394,000 versus expenditures of $353,000. Due to that result, the city realized an overall net deficit for the fiscal year to date of $280,000. Revenues of $2.690 million versus expenditures of $2.970 million. Okay, Part 1, Section B, Summary of the General Fund Balance. So the General Fund unrestricted cash balance as of May 31st is $987,000. The Village of Glen Echo Park project balance as of May 31st is $74,000. The amounts due to the general fund from other funds is $520,000. And the amounts due from the general fund to other funds is $116,000. That results in a total general fund balance of $1,465,000. Then there's also the Drug Task Force restricted balance as of May 31st of $103,000, and the restricted amount at Simmons Bank of $633,000. That results in a total restricted amount of $736,000 as of May 31st. The Part 1, Section C, income from the general fund. Ideally, the percentage of budget remaining for income at fiscal year to date should be at or below 33.3%, which would indicate that the amount of actual income was either the same or more than the budget amount of income. Unfortunately, the city fell short of the budget amount for income for fiscal year to date by more than $204,000, or 4.7% of the total budget amount. Next section, part 1, section B, expenditures by department, general fund. Conversely, the percentage of budget remaining for expenditures at fiscal year to date should be at or above 33.3%, which would indicate that the amount of actual expenditures was either the same or less than the budget amount of expenditures. Unfortunately, the city spent more than it had budgeted fiscal year to date by more than $76,000, or 1.7% of the total budget amount. However, when it came to the individual departments, some fared better in keeping expenses under budget, while others did not. Those departments that were under budget were park and prosecuting attorney. Those that were over were police, court, public works, and administration. That's all I have.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm not gonna ask for a motion to adopt because we don't have it in front of us, so we'll take that up at the next meeting. Thank you.
Thank you.
Discussion of city communication systems.
Okay, so like I said, I had a fairly long document, which I'm gonna refer to, but I'm also gonna make sure that everybody gets a copy of. Because I'm gonna go through this, let me find it here. I had it open. Basically, what we need to talk about, how we communicate with people and how that connects with our overall goals and objectives. So, if you give me a second, I'll go and find this blasted thing. I had it open, but closed it for some reason. I did send copies to Marty and to Kiana via my email, and I think you've got one too, Yolanda. So
I see
that,
it, but mine doesn't have an attachment.
from my Gmail, it wouldn't attach the document, because I mean, I'm not doing this from a computer, I'm doing this from my phone.
Yeah, it's the Gmail, but I don't see an attachment.
Okay, well,
There's nothing attached.
it's not attaching, because what I'm having to do is to go find a document, have it work through my system to send it, and it's not sending it, but I will get it right here. There's been a lot of talking about our concerns about communication and planning, and it's a planning effort just like any other planning effort. That it has to be, you go through certain kinds of steps to get to it. City of Normandy, here we go. Open in Docs. Okay. You have to come up with a blueprint of what you want to do and how to do it. It's the way we share information with citizens and other stakeholders to achieve specific goals. We have to define communication objectives. What do we want to say? When do we want to say it? How do we want to say it? Identify target audiences. Who are our constituents? Those are people who are citizens, residents, businesses, community organizations, and it's a part of the kind of branding that any organization needs to do. Who are we? How do we say who we are? And it's, you have to communicate you have to figure out your objectives. think about the key messages that we want to consistently have people have. One of the things about how we're doing planning, communication right now, it's on a spot basis. We have something that's coming up. We know that on October 5th, there's going to be a jazz festival. What you would do is to create a yearly calendar of things that we know that are going to happen. And then craft messages specifically around there. You can always add dates and so forth. So you clearly state what the communication plan needs to include. For example, you want to increase awareness of city services, foster public participation in decision-making, or promoting specific initiatives. For example, we've been talking about code enforcement, we've been talking about renters, we've been talking about how we get people to know what's going on. But if we set, for an example, a goal that we want to increase citizen awareness of the rights and responsibilities of renters by 30% within the next 6 months. So that's an achievable goal. If you've got a database, you can say how many people got this information. You have to identify your target audiences and tailor messages specifically for those people. Residents, businesses, as I said before. And then the key messages. What do we want to say? We go back to our mission statement about who we are as a community, then we communicate some part of that to every single message, and we craft our messaging around those kinds of things. The next thing that we have to do is to figure out the how we get the messages. So the what is what we want to say, and the how is how we do it. So you have to look at each target audience, like what would happen, what would be the best way to communicate with our businesses, what would be the way that we would communicate to people who want to volunteer, what would we want our renters to do, what would we know, what people to know about a storm that's coming up. So you have to have a tactical plan. You've got to identify and capture in one place who your stakeholders are. What are the businesses? Who are residents? What are the community organizations that we want to keep up to date with? So there would have to be someone or some persons who would be sitting down to look at the strategic communication plan, and that would obviously be people who are on the staff, but it might include some citizens or some board members as well. This is when I talked about customer relationship management software. There is a, Marty, what is the name of the software that the city uses for a housing database? Do you know the brand?
For the what?
Housing database?
Yeah.
iWork.
What is it?
iWork.
iWork. Okay, so if we're using iWork, one of the things that we might want to do is to say, okay, does iWork have a product that can work with what we already have as a CRM? And a lot of these companies do that. You know, you have a citizens portal, you have these other kinds of things. So we have to figure out what works with what we've already got. Because customer relationship management software can be really simple or can be pretty complex. One of the things that I'm going to be doing is to work with Yolanda on putting together a little database of people who want to volunteer. So that was the email that people got asking, how do we want to do that? And it's a little simple product that can cost as much as like $300 a year or more, because there's always more that people are willing to sell you. But one of the things that we have to do in evaluating what we use is to figure out how much it's going to cost, how hard is it going to be for people to use it, will it work with our existing software, because there's add-ons that come with a product, and then there's bolt-ons, which is something that externally you use and connect it with your database. So the bolt-ons are usually custom made by you. You buy software package, and you could buy the plain vanilla package. Does this, 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 and this. And I'm thinking now with iWorks, we may have a fairly plain vanilla package. If you want chocolate sprinkles on that package, then they'll all be always be ready to sell you something. Or we could look at other cost-effective methods. For example, you can take everything that's in iWorks that's appropriate, pull that data out and put it in a separate database. It's just a matter of mapping this field to this field, and name to name, address to address, telephone number to telephone number, number of occupants to number of occupants. So you just map the data and you create a little scheme and it pulls it out. And then with that, you can say, okay, reach out to these people in whatever way that we want. It could be with a newsletter that has a barcode on it that says, okay, scan this with your phone and fill out this form if you want to give us more information to get to you more easily. But it's a process, and people have to be involved in it. We have to know what we want to say. It's not a single person's responsibility. Could a city administrator do it? Probably. Could Kiana find it useful? Could Marty, new Marty, as I call him, new Marty find it useful? Because it can not only track communications outside the organization, like our constituents, but it can track processes within the organization. So you can have one that would say, okay, this citation went out on this day, and it can send an automatic email to people to say, okay, follow up on this. So it's a process of looking at all your needs to communicate and having it in one place. And like I said, you could be fairly simple or fairly complex, but I think it'd be good for us to start looking at those kinds of solutions rather than having, I have an email list, Yolanda has an email list, Karen may have a list. Putting all that information in the same place, so when there is a need for an emergency communication, like a storm, or like an active shooter in your neighborhood, that the police can use it, the city can use it, Public Works can use it, and and you've got to have some controls over who has access for hands-on to your data. It's really important. And it does take some training, but it's a way of helping an organization do a better job. And the most important thing, and we think about communication as one way, an important part of communication is listening. And we don't have a way right now that people can feel heard. Marty talked about the number of complaints from residents and so forth that we get. Having some canned responses that say, we got your response, we're going to be working on this, would ease him up from not necessarily having to reply to all those emails, but having a way that he knows how long that email has been sitting there. We're working on it, we'll get back to you. It just calms the waters. It calms the waters. It helps to make people feel appreciated. It helps us to get people out to events. Because when I used to do this, what you do is you tell people in advance, this is what I'm going to say. Then you say it, and then you remind them that you say it. So over a course of, say, 2 or 3 weeks or even a month, you could say, okay, don't forget that this is coming up, or even quarterly. You'd say, in the next quarter, we're going to be doing these kinds of activities. And then you automate the system to send out reminders, a month before, mark your calendars, 3 days before, it's coming up. And it's all in your system. You don't have to write it from scratch. You don't think about it from scratch. It's all there. And most businesses, a lot of times when you go on and you create something, they're all reading the responses to your emails, or whether you read them at all. So there's ways of tracking who's responding. And so we're talking about increasing awareness and getting feedback. And a lot of businesses, well, you take a nurse in a school, for example. Every time they get sent there, they have a fight on the playground or whatever, that nurse has to go into a database and say, okay, little Jimmy got a nosebleed, or whatever. And if you don't document it, it didn't exist. And that can cause you some legal issues in those contexts. But in the context of here, we won't have people coming here all the time saying, we don't know what's going on. You never tell us. The first ward never hears about this, or the second ward doesn't hear about this. Because everybody's getting consistent messaging in real time.
I think one of the things that we need to think about too, since we're having budget talks, is, overloading. Well, there's a reason why people go to school for communications, right? Because that's your job and that's what you do.
I didn't go to school, well, English major.
And everything, so like you said, a school, so like there's a communications person, so like if we have some kind of incident, there's one person that's the talking head, right, that is the voice of the.
It could be, I mean, in some cases it would be appropriate for the police to be that person.
Right, but there's a person that communicates, and then they communicate like this, but it's not like three different people, is what I'm saying. So,
yeah,
I think that we need to look into staffing, and like one of the things that we can do with our economic development fund, and I mentioned this before, is having a communications individual who basically their job is to, because the thing about technology and communication is things change so rapidly, so you're not going to be using Excel because there could be there's another program that can do this, or there's another way to do that, and I think we're talking about the same thing, different modes of getting the information to people in different ways. But I think that that's something that we need to look into in the staffing issue, where we have like one person whose their job is to singularly handle that area. So we have that person handle the website, handle the board, handle the Facebook page, handle the Nextdoor, handle, QR codes, handle, getting that information out to people, possibly using AI, possibly using like a Q&A, because like when you go to buy a car, they have this, you can go in and type in like, I want to make an appointment. I'm interested in this car, and they actually have an AI that talks like a person. And some people believe that it is a person because the information that's in there, so you can be like, well, who do I talk to if I'm having a problem with my neighbor? And then it'll say like, well, this is the person that you need to talk to or whatever, and this person is available at this time. So I think we need to figure out if because we have such little staff, we need to figure out a way to use our economic development money, like you said, to also communicate with businesses, to communicate with volunteers, to communicate with people, because that's an overwhelming job, communicating. Using part of that money to make ourselves more efficient, like in that area, so we're not overloading the staff that's already there, which we need to look at how many people do we need in the front office and everything, like how because Kiana can't do it all,
Well, it's not just one person. It would be basically when you're buying a package like this, and I put them in lots of different ways, but you're looking at the total sum of you've got to look at the total number of people you want to get in contact with. The basic information that we have in iWorks tells us who's supposed to be at a certain address. I don't know that that's tied to what's actually in the physical files, so there's going to be some manual labor, just like, when people send me addresses to send out the little job form thing that I'm going to do, I'm going to have to do some data entry on that. And that does take training. But a lot of the stuff you can pre-populate in these systems, so that once you figure out what you want to say, I'm going to go and meet with people from the Coro Foundation. They've got a new set of people coming in the fall, and these graduate students who are looking for projects. Working with municipal governments is one of them. And so looking at long-term, do we want to do this is the question. Do we want to have a system that works? What do we want to communicate? What product we'll use, what mechanisms that we'll use, and what the staff impact are. But we already know that we need at least a housing clerk. We don't have a housing clerk. The housing clerk is an important point, because that's the person who actually keeps your database clean. That was the person who will import the stuff from the county on a regular basis and double check it with what we've got in the files. We're talking about, 2,000 to 3,000 homes in here. So yeah, it's going to be a manual process, but you automate this stuff over time, and it just becomes part of it. It's a tool that you use.
And I think we need to look at too, is iWorks the best thing, because we don't know everything that's out there. And when I say like
Comcast, there's
so we don't know like everything that's out there. So when I talk about like you go to school for communicate, like you have a different avenue of understanding like the strategies. But when you were talking about, I forgot. When you were talking about when you sent the email about communications, I did send an email to UMSL because they are looking for projects to help municipalities with.
Right.
And the problem that I put was communication, and how can you effectively, as a municipality with a limited staff and a limited budget, use AI so that you don't use AI so it's more efficient and you don't lose that community feeling and everything.
Right.
Because you have to also have a person that understands how to check the data, put the data in and everything, because it'll spit out what you're gonna put into it, and everything. So we don't want to give people misinformation or false information. So that's also another avenue. And AI is coming, and we have to learn how to adjust to it. And that might be an avenue that someone who has a background in communications can help us, like what Julian was about to say.
No, I'm all for it. Like today, companies have these social media teams. They have these influencers. Even these municipalities have, a social media person who does nothing but the content for the websites and whatever communication system they use. So, whether that's a housing clerk, whether that's an influencer, whether that's a team, I do agree we do need additional help for that communication piece.
And the housing clerk is one that, Normandy used to have the tightest housing system that I've seen in a long time, because we were looking from over the fence and saying, but that was because we had a person here who was really good at it. That was Kathy Tracy. She was good at it, she was amiable, she took no stuff, and she was good at explaining things. But we are understaffed, and it's clear that the intent is, on all of this stuff, is to give people tools to make their jobs easier. And one of the things I thought about, because you mentioned AI to me when we spoke earlier, if we could take, for example, our nuisance codes, have AI look at those things and spit out a condensation of what those things said. I was playing with AI this afternoon. I found that a copy of my mother's obituary, which I wrote, very long. I said, okay, summarize this for me. And I came up with a document that was pretty powerful, that was 4 paragraphs long. Didn't have everything in it, but it had the important stuff in it. So if we look at doing a combination, technology is where it's at. So one of the things is that you can explain all of that, you can build a process, and it'll run. But you do have to have people take care of it.
And just piggyback up, I didn't know they use it at the post. Like when I get my e-edition, now they compose the article and they put at the bottom, this was generated by AI.
Right.
And a person like reviewed it and everything. So this, it's coming. We just need to make sure that, the other thing that we have to understand too is that we have aging people in our community who don't understand it. And so then how do we, even if we have this tool, help people, because you don't wanna marginalize people
No,
with
no,
technology
no,
that are,
no.
so I think that's that's also something that we have to keep in the forefront
We
too.
can generate letters too.
No, I'm just saying, like, we wanna make sure that we're using the tool, but we're also educating people on how to use the tool themselves.
Absolutely, that's
Because
part of the
that makes- yeah.
communication, that's part of what we actually have to do, and we have to talk to some people. Maybe a town hall on it, not a public hearing, but a good old fashioned town hall that asks these questions. What do you wanna hear about? And write that down and build it so that we can accommodate people. Some people want text, some people hate text, some people read email, some people don't read email, some people don't mind robocalls, some people hate robocalls. If a tornado's coming and my phone starts going, I'm gonna pay attention to that. So, yeah, you have to adapt it to whatever your populations are, but the conversation will be, these are our populations, this is how these people want to get communicated with, and these are the things that we want to say. So, yeah, I think some public discussion would be great on this. I have several PowerPoints.
I think if you wrapped it in a, like you said, like a town hall.
Yeah.
And you had it here.
Right.
Where it was, where people were giving
Yeah,
us input.
we'd have the tear-off sheets, flip charts, and that kind of thing. I'll do I can do some PowerPoint stuff and walk people through. We can generate frequently asked questions. And a lot of the stuff now with AI, I used to have a person who sit there and we'd come up with the list of questions and they would answer them and have them available so people would just look it up. But AI can generate that stuff right now. So if we look at tools that might include that, and I know the AI discussion came up last year and we weren't quite ready for the police, but I'll put a plug in for the police for their reports this year too.
Yeah, let's try to.
Mayor, I don't want to minimize how important communication is, but I think all of you need to think about where you stand financially in this city.
Right, I understand.
You haven't given employees a cost of living raise in 4 years. Your most important asset is your employees. You talk about only having a few employees. You've only got 4 people in City Hall. You've got a building inspector, a city clerk, a city manager, a half-time police clerk, and a part-time person to do all your work. And if you listen to the city treasurer, you got less money right now than you're gonna have next year. And until you take a look at the budget and see what your dollars and cents priorities are, you can't make these types of decisions. You want a webpage person? Sure, you can hire them. You gotta find the money. You want a communication specialist? Sure, you can have them. You gotta find the money. You want a communication program? You gotta find the money.
Software is not that expensive. You can get a.
You know, I'll be glad to give you a computer and you design a program.
But
and it
somebody
won't
has
cost
to
me
man
anything.
the software.
Yeah, somebody has to do it.
Somebody has to man it. So that's my thing. Somebody has to man it.
We have to person it.
Yeah.
We have to staff it.
Right. So we still have to have the manpower even if we have the software. So like I said, we got the budget, so do we use, because we can use 20% of a person's salary for economic development. Do we use that money? Do we sell off some of our assets? Do we sell out, how do we pay for it? Because we still have to have somebody.
We have to figure out what it costs.
Yeah.
We have to figure out what it costs. We have to, and there are some fairly inexpensive ones. They don't have to be expensive. You can get them for as little as $5 a month per user, up to more than that. They're not all really expensive.
But
to
you're
use.
still talking about who's going to man it. Like, we can have,
Okay, so when
Yeah.
we write a newsletter, who does it?
I do it, and then
Okay.
everybody else does it, but everybody else is checking it and rechecking it and everything, so it's not like it's, I mean, we could, if we wrote it and then it just sat there, then, you know, like, it takes manpower to design it, to reread it, to do all of those things, so
Yeah.
you're still using manpower and time. So if you're doing that thing, then you're not doing another thing, and so like Marty said, like, if you have somebody who's doing this, you gotta take something off of their plate so that they have time to do that, right? So that comes into, like I said, do we sell off assets? How do we get the money to man the software?
We don't know what it costs yet, and I think that discussion needs to happen. That we go into this with an idea of what will this cost? Cost is always gonna be part of whatever consideration that we have about doing anything. But if you can get, I'm always under of the impression that you can get a whole lot more for your buck than you think you can, if you know where to look. So I'm not saying, I'm saying it, yeah, I fully recognize that we need people. I also know that it isn't that hard to do. You know, it isn't that hard to do. And that once you build it, and they'll come in and train people on, you know, most of the programs that you can get them for as little as $5,000 a year. Really, these CRM systems. The two areas that you're gonna have issues with, gotta have a database. You have to have a well-running and as accurate as you can get database. And that's one of the basic problems that Normandy has. We don't have that.
Ms. Victoria, I'm sorry,
Wait, I'm sorry.
We used to get
No,
text messages.
I'm sorry. You can't comment right now, but you can comment.
I can't stay here till 9:30 with y'all.
I'm sorry.
Well, I'm done. I'm done with this. Can we have what?
I'd like to make a motion, to have a discussion on CRM, just, possibilities.
No, workshop?
Yeah.
Okay.
Workshop time?
Workshop, and I'll have a lot more information.
Workshop discussion.
Workshop discussion. Number 2, approval of Natural Bridge Median Beautification Plan. So we all went through the Natural Bridge, we all saw the presentation, the waste management presentation. I'm gonna ask for a discussion about how everybody feels about that one. So these are our options. We can keep the stamped concrete, we can go with the waste management plan. Now remember, that's contingent on, MoDOT's approval also. But she was online and I think it went over well. Or we, like I said, we could do nothing. So any thoughts about?
Battery is low.
Battery is low.
Speaker in the mic.
Is that the
Battery is low.
Steve? Want to start?
I think we should go with the median beautification plan.
The waste management plan?
Waste management plan?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah. Karen?
I agree.
I agree.
Tony?
I agree.
Councilwoman Bray? What are your thoughts? No, I'm just taking the straw poll. There's no motion.
I'm gonna learn more. I was present at the meeting, but I was on Zoom. So I think I should go back and watch the video of the Zoom and
Councilwoman Shivers?
I agree with Councilman Washington and Saxonheimer.
Councilman Roberts?
Waste management.
Council-
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, me too.
Can I
Waste
get
management.
can I get a motion to? I need a motion to approve the concept plan to eliminate the, concept plan by Waste Management and eliminate Stab Concrete.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it.
What's that?
It's not an ordinance. It's,
Oh, okay.
No, it's just moving forward.
well, no, sorry.
There was no second.
Oh, you're saying there was no second.
Who was the second?
I thought Steve was the second.
I thought he was the first.
He was the first. Who was the
Made
second?
the motion.
Oh, no one gets second. Oh, who?
Yeah.
Second.
I'll second.
Second. Tony second. All right, all in favor? Any opposed? Ayes have it. New business, resolution number 25-30, a resolution of the City of Normandy authorizing the mayor to amend the agreement with Interim Solutions. So we are almost at the end of Marty's contract. We need one more month. We gotta get through the interviews and training. We had the option, the contract stated that we would have to extend it for 2 months, and Marty and I talked about it, that's too long. So we would like to extend it until the end of August. So they agreed to a 1 month extension instead of a 2 month, which is what the contract that we signed. So, to keep Marty and basically get through this whole process, and, we need to extend it for 1 more month. So, any questions about the extension? Can I get a motion to approve resolution number 25-30?
So moved.
Second. All in favor? Any opposed? Ayes have it. Number 2, approval of reallocation of 2023 Community Development Block Grant Funds. So there's $69,000 that we have left over for CDBG funds, and we basically need to move it before we lose it. So that's what the reallocation is for.
Then we're gonna move it to what?
Just move it to the, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So the who?
Just move it to, into the account.
There really wasn't a whole lot of discussion in the public hearing. There was one night that Terry got up and said that she thought that it would be good to put it on the streets. We have not really voted on how that might be done. At the last meeting, there was a discussion of the demolition of houses. And if we're gonna be reallocating, you could pay for the demolition of that house with some of this money, with the part of the 69.
You talking about the one in Ward 1,
Uh-huh.
the little brown house?
I mean, you could put in 15, probably 20. Put in $20,000 for that. If it doesn't cost that much, then you put the money back into the other stuff.
Correct me if, we don't have to decide right now, we just.
What?
Do we have to decide what we're gonna do with it right now, or we just need to move it? Oh,
You probably could delay it to the work session.
yeah, that's what we don't have to decide right now.
Okay.
Can I get a motion to approve reallocation of 2023 Community Block Grant Funds?
I make a motion.
Second,
Second.
all in favor? Any opposed? Ayes have it. Number 3, approval of liquor license renewal application. So we got Crazy Deals at 7201 Natural Bridge Road, Suite C, and Glen Echo Country Club, 3401 Lucas and Hunt Road. Can I get a motion to approve liquor license for?
So moved.
Now, I have a question. As far as the liquor license, are they both applying for a full liquor license?
They already have one.
No,
No, Crazy Deals has a partial.
So what are they applying?
I can answer so what the application for liquor licenses, Crazy Deals already has a liquor and beer license, for packaged liquor as well as Sunday sales. And Glen Echo Country Club is by the drink, for liquor of all kinds and Sunday sales.
So they're just.
Okay.
Just renewing
Yeah, I just
licenses.
was making sure they weren't trying to
No.
slip in.
Any
Full liquor
new,
sales.
yeah, any new
Oh,
applications
yeah.
would come to the council
Have all
first, so.
Okay, thanks, that's all.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So Crazy Deals has a packaged liquor
That's
license,
it.
right?
That's it.
So that means they can't be selling these little individual bottles
Of alcohol, no.
of alcohol.
Like the little,
The sugar.
Shot glass. Yes.
Shot.
the shot glasses count, those
Oh, like
little
little
airplane
airplane
bottles?
Yeah, those.
Do they, if they're sealed, that's
Right.
packaged.
That's packaging.
Correct.
Yeah.
Got you.
But
Thank you,
you
Kiana.
can't go in and say, I want a vodka tonic, and then
Right,
Yeah.
and that's what
Yeah.
the country club is doing.
Yeah, they sell it by that.
Yeah, okay, thank you for that clarification. Yeah, okay.
Who had a question? Oh, I thought you said. I said what you need for us to do. Oh, approve it, that's all. Can I get a motion to approve? I make a motion.
Second.
All in favor? Any opposed? Ayes have it. Citizen comment.
So I just want to share a little information. Back when I did property management, we would download, there's two things, a renter's guide and a landlord's guide. Huh? Oh, Terry Gannon. I thought I did this before.
No, battery went dead.
Oh, well, that's all right. They don't, okay. Anyway, you can download a renter's guide and a landlord's guide from the Attorney General's website, the state of Missouri. You can also get little brochures and they're free. So you can just order those, and when people come in for their occupancy permits or whatever, hand them one of those.
Can you, you know how they send in those little booklets? Can you order them?
Yeah,
For the-
yeah, from the Attorney General.
And they send you the book?
Yeah, they're free. So, yeah, why reinvent the wheel? And it's all legal and according to the laws of the state of Missouri.
Cool.
Thank you, Terry.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Just a few things, in reference to the sinkholes, Marty too, you all just filled up a really big one on Dunbar, or somebody did, on Dunbar. It's sinking again. They put rock and pavement over it and it's sinking again, so, and if there's lots of cones in front of someone's home on Dunbar. So you all probably wanna look at that, there's something structurally wrong if it's sinking again, you all just did that. A few things on communication from earlier. We need clean and professional signs put out for meetings. One of the council members that used to be in Ward 4, Russo, she used to make sure that citywide there was a sign put out a week before for council meetings. Once she left, that didn't happen anymore. Another point, everything that we do cannot come out of the business development fund when we aren't actually developing business. It's like, we have a meeting like a few weeks ago and you say, oh, business development spent this much money. Well, y'all pay everything out of that. And Marty, I know you'll be leaving soon, but one thing that's historically been an issue here, not with this council in particular, but people that are still here and that have been here previously, they don't have any business acumen when it comes to financial reports, so they don't understand budgeting. And that's why we keep running into these budgeting. We're spending $300 here, $30,000 here, and it's not really benefiting the residents. Ms. Victoria, you mentioned the housing clerk. You can probably attest to this. When the housing clerk left and when Rodney passed, the city fell.
Yep.
You didn't have people coming here complaining until, and they both happened within like a 3 or 4 month period. So if we can get a housing clerk, that would be awesome. To piggyback off what you were saying, I was trying to tell you earlier, I just talked to my council member about this 2 weeks ago. Up until right before Mr. Mark Beckman left as mayor, we used to get texts from the city. I don't know who sent them, but it was like, oh, stay off of so-and-so, or oh, there's impending snow. I still have the text message as of 1.5 years ago, so I don't know if you want me to forward it, but there's something that we have here that just is not being utilized fully because there's been a knowledge drain of people leaving. So if we can start doing process documents, we won't have to keep going through this every 3 or 4 years.
So like from a telephone number or from one of those codes that says like?
No, it came from a number.
No, it came from a number.
Yeah, it came from a number. We just talked about this.
Yep.
So we have something.
We had something, we don't have any more.
It can't be gone, though. Maybe we just don't. Kiana, how long have you been here? Were you here for that?
I'm not sure if I was here for that.
Okay,
but-
I'll find a number and I can text it. Maybe you can scan your phone. Yeah, Tony and I were just talking about that. To go back with you, Mr. Roberts, I don't have my glasses. I think it's your name. I love what you talked about with the pamphlet. Here's the problem. We used to have those with the housing person. I feel like I remember, Mayor, you talking about there was a 2-step process for occupancy. That if I own this property, I get an occupancy to work on it, and then there's an occupancy for people that move into it. I feel like I just heard recently there was a 2-step process. The problem is, Peter owns this house, and Peter just had Julie and Jim live here, and they left. He never comes back to the city. So it's like a revolving door of people in and out of properties, and the city doesn't catch them, so they just go.
Right.
So that's been a big issue that we've had here, and this is just a random mess. This is not to attack anybody. This is just in general. Please forgive me for my outbursts later. A lot of us, not a lot of us, I think she and I are the only ones that come to the meetings every month, whether it be in person. I can't be here till 9:30 with y'all tonight when I've been gone all day. So I would just like to ask if council members can come prepared and knowledgeable about what you're gonna vote on, so we don't have to sit here and watch you all turn your wheels about something you're gonna vote on in 5 or 10 minutes. We even had a council member a few months ago say that they had voted on something they were gonna vote on again and didn't know what it was about. That's kinda scary. So I don't know when you all get your information packets, but it's real important to have some knowledge about what's about to happen versus asking questions. Like, it sounds like you all are starting this process as soon as you sit down, right before somebody makes a motion or Marty talks about the next item. So that's all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Can I get a motion to adjourn?
I got one question real quick.
Oh,
I think I made a motion to add that CRM discussion.
communication.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Did we vote on it or?
we don't need to vote on it, it's just gonna be on the floor.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's nothing to vote on. Yeah. I think somebody said, somebody said something, I gotta look at my notes, but
Yeah,
it was like two other, if you say like, can we talk about it in a workshop?
Yeah.
We just put it on the workshop.
Okay.
Yeah, there's no vote. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. Thank you.
We got closed session? No?
I'm sorry.